Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog, welcome back to the car, welcome back to Cornwall, and welcome back to, it's actually quite a nice day. This is Truro, as you can tell by the railway station we are about to pass. I'm leaving Truro. This is a city in the heart of Cornwall, and it is a city by name only because, I mean, it's basically a big town. It's a big town with a cathedral in it, and not even a big cathedral. It's a big town with a little cathedral, and that makes it a city, which is fun. But I'm leaving here because, well, because of things that are going to have a bearing on the channel in the next couple of weeks. The next 3 weeks, in fact. So, as you probably already know, or don't already know, I'm going to be taking a little trip to Sweden. Why? Because my sister was like, "Oh, we're going to Sweden. Would you like to come along? Bring a tent." And I'm like, okay, sure. So that's what's going to happen. We're all going to jump on an aeroplane with tents and go and camp in Sweden. I mean, are you worried about traveling? Because I know you're a bit funny about being outside on your own. The traveling bit's fine. As soon as you're on an aeroplane and your butt's in a seat, that's the easy bit. I like flying. The bit that I'm a little bit worried about is, you know, where do you poop? Where do you clean your teeth? Probably not in the same place. Or maybe the same place, I don't know. There's all the little things that you could focus on, but actually getting there is a nice distraction. So that is occupying my mind space at the moment. We can go. Yeah, getting out of Truro is a little bit tricky. So, what does that mean for the channel? Well, it means that I'm gonna have to pre-record some videos so you guys aren't just left with a few weeks of nothingness. And it's like, a few weeks? I thought you were only going for like a few days. Yes, but I'm gonna have to travel up country, stay the night, and then jump on a plane, and then drive around. It's a little bit complicated. There's some complexity to the plan. I don't know. I'm just there for the ride, which is the best way to be honest. So there is some complexity. What I'm gonna do, so you guys aren't left completely high and dry, is pre-record some videos that are not Stranded Deep and are not, I want to say Citizen Kabuto, Pirates, but that's the wrong game. Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, that's the one with the pirates. So what I'm gonna do is pre-record some other videos, maybe the start of a new series or a couple of new series. So what I'll do is I'll record them when I can, encode them, do all the overlays and everything, upload them, and then schedule them. So there will not be any social media. There won't be any social media when I'm away because that's all done manually and I don't have a social media manager. The videos will turn up. You'll see them on YouTube, so nothing on Twitter or anything. And interestingly, I won't be around to like comment. So if you guys leave a comment, expect like a week for me to get back around to that. So if you're just like, oh, that new game that you're playing, they're not new games, by the way, but that new game that you're playing, that there's an easy way to do the thing that you've been doing for the last 4 episodes. And I'm like, I'll see that in a couple of weeks. Don't worry about it. Chances are that because I'm gonna batch record, I'll already have worked out a solution to a problem. There was one game and the controls are just literally weird. And I'm gonna say it now. I'm gonna tell you the name of one of the games, and that is Alice Madness Returns. Because I was just like, oh, this game has been on my radar. American McGee. Didn't you have a hand in making Doom? All right, so Madness Returns is definitely on the radar for that. But the controls, because it's like an older game, it's like target using caps lock and then change target using shift. And it's like those 2 keys feel the same under your fingers. Why would you do this? So yeah, I had a little problem with the controls, but the game's good. The game's interesting, actually. It's really been fun so far. So that's that. Why are you in Truro? Well, I was looking for a rash vest because there's a talk of swimming in a lake, and I'm like, I don't like exposing too much skin. it's kind of it's like an old idea. Like when we were kids, and we were running through the fields and stuff, there was always stinging nettles. That's why I wear jeans, because the kids with jeans didn't get stung and the kids without jeans got stung, and it's just like a habit. It's like if you go outside and you're not wearing jeans, then it feels wrong. And it kind of feels wrong to jump in water without wearing something. So normally I would jump in with a full wetsuit, because I live on the coast and people with wetsuits tend not to drown versus people who just are there with their flippy floppies and a t-shirt. So yeah, I can't take a full wetsuit with me because of plane restrictions. Apparently you can't take just a butt ton of stuff on an aeroplane. So yeah, and also if you got a bunch of neoprene, you get it wet and you put it in your luggage on the way home, you just end up with wet pants in your luggage. It's just like, well, what is going on with my luggage? You know? So I gotta make those considerations. So yeah, haven't found a rash vest yet. I'm heading somewhere where I think there might be, but because Cornwall is fairly rural, it's gonna be like a 20-mile drive to get to the next place, which, if you're American, you just rolled your eyes and gone, 20 miles? 20... I drive 20 miles from my house to the end of the drive before I get onto any sort of main road. 20 miles is nothing. Yeah, that's America, my dudes. You have bigger fuel tanks and bigger engines. We'll get onto something a little bit later. This might turn into a bit of a long vlog, but yeah. So I need to get a rash vest, which is going to be back in St. Earth, I think. There's a place that sells them. Nowhere in Truro, apparently. I've also just picked up some Swedish krona because they're not in the Eurozone, so they don't take euro, which is fine. It means that I'm gonna have some paper money. I also got a cash card as well, and I asked them, it's like, well, if all else fails and I need to use just like a debit card abroad, are they just gonna stop it? And they're like, no, with chip and pin, you just type your pin number in, and if they need to query it, you'll get a ping on your mobile phone, and then you have to do the security dance, which is, I think it's all elbows and all butts as the security dance, so that's fun. We're not giving it the business. Petrol's really expensive, and I'd rather use as much battery as I can. That's a complete aside. So yeah, getting prepared to go to a country that I've never been before. Although we did play Unravel. With Yarny, the little man made of yarn, and that was set in Sweden. That was an interesting game. If you haven't watched that, it's well worth a watch. There's only 11 episodes, but yeah. So my understanding of Sweden: in the winter it snows, in the summer it's quite pleasant, and they might have bears. Certainly have reindeer. That's it. Oh, they made the S-tank, the Swedish S-tank. Which is, if you're not into history, okay, you're not into history, we'll explain something historical. So there is just a little anomaly in Swedish military history, and it's called the Swedish S-tank. After the Second World War, everywhere really wanted to buy British Centurions because we were moving from the Second World War into the Cold War. In the Cold War, everyone hoped wouldn't get hot, but if it did, we'd be going up against Russian tanks, big old Russian tanks with their big old guns. So the British had the Centurion, and this was a tank designed to take on the Tiger tank. Okay, and it would have done very, very well because of its sloped front armour and its decent gun, and it was like an all-round decent modern tank compared to anything that had been around during the Second World War. However, Korea happened in the 50s, and Britain was like, oh yeah, I guess we better go out to Korea then. So we took a bunch of tanks there. In the meantime, everywhere else was going, hey, you're going to export some of those sweet, sweet Centurions our way? And Britain was like, yes, but we need to have a war first. So, not knowing whether Sweden would get British Centurions, they did in the end. The STRV 101, I believe, was a Centurion. What they ended up doing is, in the intermediate period, designing a tank called the S-tank. What does the S-Tank look like to somebody who's never seen it? It looks like a wedge of cheese. It literally looks like a wedge of cheese. It is the cheese wedge tank. The gun is fixed into the hull, so it's a wedge of cheese with a cocktail stick poking out of the front of it. And it has 3 dudes. Not because the tank needs 3 dudes on the inside of it, but because the tank... actually, where are we going? I'm wondering if we can swing a left here. I don't know where the road goes, but let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's be adventurous. Let's take a chance to chase water. Oh yeah, this is the actual road. Whee! I've never driven down here. It's an adventure for you and I. So yeah, they designed this tank that looked like a block of cheese with a gun poking at the front. It had an auto-loader, so it would auto-load, then the driver was the gunner. I'll get to that in a sec. And then after you fired the gun, it would spit the empty case straight out the butt. So it was a wedge of cheese with a cocktail stick that poops brass, essentially. And that is everything you need to know. It had a gas turbine engine as well as the regular diesel, I think. So it made an interesting noise. But it was a tank that was designed for a country, for a place, for a time. And in order to aim the gun, you had to not only pivot the tank on its tracks left and right, but you also had to use the suspension to like a ballerina tip the tank forward and back. So the Swedish S-Tank, if you're into history and you don't know anything about it, I would definitely look it up. It's an interesting vehicle. But eventually, yeah, they went to Centurions and then they went to their own, I believe, homebrew tanks. So yeah, just a little peep into the mind of, oh no, they've got the Leopard. They got the Leopard 2, because everyone in Europe's got the Leopard 2 these days. So yeah, just a little. That's kind of all I know about Sweden. They have a royal family, but not quite like the British royal family. Apparently they're quite nice, so that's lovely. Where are we going here? 3 milestone, no red Ruth and scoria, yes. All right. Oh, this is actually really useful because that road sometimes backs up and may back up in the summer because they are rerouting the A30, the main road, into and out of Cornwall. If we got the beans, we can make the, oh, there we go. We do have the beans. Does your car got the beans? Oh yes. It's got all the beans, 40 miles an hour. Oh, right, okay. I hadn't realised that there was a speed limit because there's nothing to tell you that. But now there is, 30 miles an hour, all right. Good, I don't mind. The slower we go, the less fuel we use. That's a good thing. And fuel's nearly £2 a litre as I record this. What else were we going to talk? We were going to talk about Swedish S-Tank, yes. Already did that. Sweden, yes. Videos, yes. Yeah, so just expect a few less videos, but at a consistent level through the next thing. It's kind of weird, you know, talking and driving at the same time, especially through a place where you've not necessarily been before. I might have been through here, but I certainly haven't driven through here. This is weird. So the road markings have all disappeared because that's just what happens. I believe these guys might actually have, no, we have right of way because we're going uphill. Oh no, I just waved to an empty car. That wasn't even traffic, that was just a parked car. The other ones were though. Interesting, yeah. Oh, that's a parked car as well, and a pothole. I don't know why I'm looking at the camera waggling my eyebrows, because you can't see it behind the glasses. You're just like, huh, you're wearing sunglasses, old chum. Yes, I am. Oh, what about it? Why do you always wear sunglasses? Because it gives you greater contrast when you're driving and evens out the light into your eyes, and the polarizing filters mean that, yeah, just better contrast and better color. Oh, so it's a safety thing? I mean, yes, it is a safety thing, and there is a dance that you need to do with it called the safety dance. Not a lot of people do it, so if your friends can't dance, or if they won't dance, then they're no friends of mine. Like one person will get that. Literally one person. Good, excellent. So yeah, I've completely forgotten about what I was going to talk about later. Was it petrol? It's expensive. Sweden? Yeah. The channel? Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been doing a bit of streaming with James on James's channel at Twitch /Cosmic Guppy. Cosmic, is it Cosmic Guppy or one word, or Cosmic _ Guppy? Oh, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to put a link in. So I think last time we talked about donations and things on the channel. So I put links on the website. One of the things I've done on the overdrivetheatre.com website is also remove all the adverts. Because I was like, well, if you guys are gonna be donating, then the adverts have never actually done anything and they're just annoying. So there are no adverts on the videos and there are no adverts on the website. It just makes it easier for everyone if that's not a thing. But thank you for the people who have donated. That is absolutely brilliant. That is more money than the channel's ever made. Even like $5 is more money than the channel has ever made in 10 years. And it's just like, 10 years? Well, I think it's nine and a bit years so far. But it's so close to 10, you may as well just call it that. Yeah, so that's been great. What's not been great is what I was saying is, hey, if it gets $150 in a month, and that's like a resetting target. So every month that target will reset. But if it gets to $150 a month, I'll put a vote up on Discord, and you guys get to choose a costume for the next driving vlog, whether that's going to be a Star Trek uniform, which I was kind of hoping for, or a Disney princess outfit. And why would you say that? Why would you say that? Why would those words come out of your mouth? That is an excellent question. Those words would come out of your mouth because it makes people talk. If you just said, here's a donation button, that's it, nobody would even think about it. But it makes people think about it and talk amongst themselves. Unfortunately, as I have been streaming with James, James is all like, oh, hey, that target, we're gonna hit it and put you in a dress. And I'm like, no, it's not the idea. The idea is you can't hit the target. It's too much for one person to do. I don't want to take like lots of coin away from people. I mean, yes, Khajiit has wares, but I don't think people have coin. And those wares are videos. So yeah, I mean, that's basically the transaction. If we can get some currency for electricity, then we'll carry on making videos. But honestly, we'll probably just carry on making videos. If power gets too expensive, I'll just reduce the number of videos, but you'll still get them because it's a hobby. Like I said earlier, there's no social media manager on this channel. There's no producer on this channel. I am the editor, the producer, the recordy boy, the talkie boy. I'm all the boys. I'm like all the boys wrapped in one. 187.9 is actually cheaper here than it is near home. Weird. So yeah, we're coming into Red Ruth, a historic mining town, known for its mining. I think there's a college here, and that's about it. We are very much taking the pretty route though, so that's fun. This might end up being a really long vlog, or I might just run out of things to say. I don't know. I don't really know. Like, when I started doing these vlogs, there were two reasons for doing it. Oh, I know where we are. I'm gonna go this way. And I'm gonna go and indicate this way. Yes, let's not go through that part of town. So we're gonna take the bypass instead. So yeah, when I started doing the vlogs, first of all, that camera was instrumental in being able to do car vlogs, because having a 360-degree camera and being able to reframe afterwards is actually really, really good. But the other thing is, I don't just have to sit in my living room and stare at the lens of a camera. A lens of a camera that has a wide-angle lens on it, so it's not flattering at all. Ideally, if you are going to do a very close-up of, like a close-up recording of someone, you want to be at something like 85mm to sort of like almost a telephoto lens, put the camera slightly further away, and that means you don't get so much of the sides of the face. when you put a wide angle lens on, it sort of stretches the image and adds, I don't know what they say, is like 50 pounds or 20 pounds. I don't know what pounds are. I'm going to say 30 kilos. That makes no sense, because that would mean that's a lot. That's 30 litres. But yeah, it just means that I get to do something and you get to see some of dear old England, because one of the things that, as a gaming channel, you don't really get to see is the outside world. You get to hear the voice, and the voice is very much British. I mean, the accent is Oxford English. Actually, Oxford City English. I was born in Oxford. I think I was born in Oxford at 5 o'clock in the morning. I want to say it was a windy and rainy night, and there was lightning and a chorus of, let's just say, clergy, and there were nuns, and everyone was like, better burn some incense around this one. May as well be dramatic. No one else is going to be dramatic for you. I was just trying to zen navigate back to where I need to be, and actually where I need to be is not, because I could go that way and end up going in the back of Hale, but I don't need to go to Hale, I need to go to Redruth. Okay, fine. Oh yeah, talking and driving. It's like juggling. It's like juggling. Like juggling while trying to read the phone book and fart the national anthem. It's some things you just don't want to do on a Saturday afternoon, and it is Saturday afternoon. So eyeball the roundabout, go through. I think it's 30 beyond this point, so we don't need to give the engine the business. Good, excellent. We're coming up to houses. This is weird. So in the UK, I think population density is 250 people per square kilometre. We're just jumping around topics now, but I think it's around 250 people per square kilometre. You see this all the time. So you get a big road on the edge of town, and then you get just a bunch of houses being built. And it's like, okay, why? Because we have 1/5 of the entire population of the United States of America on an island smaller than a single state. That is nearly 70 million people compared to, I think it's like 360 million in America, North America, the United States of America. So yeah, there's a lot of people on this old island, and we are pretty much building houses everywhere. It does feel like the green spaces are getting less and less. I have to wonder if you go back 70 years to the Second World War, and you talk to people like my grandparents when they were in their late teens, early 20s, because it's really hard to do the mental arithmetic of seeing your grandparents at 90 years old and realizing that actually when the war started, the Second World War, they were basically young adults, like really young adults, and they were going through the whole being young adults, and life is kind of complicated. There's a lot of stuff they don't teach you in school. And also the war, which meant, especially family members up in London, because my grandmother was actually Cockney. I mean, you wouldn't have, she had a very, actually very similar accent to me, so you wouldn't have known. But she was born within the sound of Bow Bells in London. And interestingly, yeah, she was, I don't know what she was doing before the war started, but then the war started and they were like, okay, everyone go and sign up. It's like, sign up to what? Whichever service. I mean, I think they were told to sign up to the army, so they would be drivers in the army. She went through the other door, because if you told her one thing, she would do the other thing. So she signed up for the RAF, and ended up a recovery driver in the RAF. So she drove things like Queen Mary's, which were the articulated low loaders, and things like, I think it's like the 9-ton trucks. So she would drive into the countryside with a crew of people, and they would go and pick up aircraft that had been shot down. And you wanted things like the engines, you wanted the metal, you wanted the ammunition and the guns, anything that could be salvaged, cleaned up and put back into service. What they would sometimes do is give her a bucket and say, go pick up the ammunition, while the lads went and kind of cleaned up the cockpit, because there's sometimes a mess in the cockpit. It's just what happened, and that was, for them, that was life. But also, this style of really wide-ass road didn't exist. Things like motorways and the dual carriageways didn't exist. If you were driving around, chances are you were driving your 9-ton truck around town, well, through the countryside, and there will be fields and trees and things. So I just wonder, from like a person's perspective, how this country has changed in the last 70 years. And it's an interesting thing to contemplate, because we look at everything now and say, well, this is how it's going to be, this is how it's going to remain and stay. But this is just a transitional period between, where are you going? Between now and whatever the future is going to be. So there is, like in 70 years from now, you've got to wonder whether all these houses will still be here, or they'll be demolished and rebuilt as something more energy efficient. Don't know. Don't know. But then you look at the human body and you say, hey, the human body is the pinnacle of what it can be. It has been the same way for 10,000 years, since the ancient Sumerians who worshipped Inanna, also known as Ishtar, goddess of heaven. You knew that. You're clever people, you knew that. I think we're going to take the motorway, the bypass, the dual carriageway. It's going to be a little bit easier. Yeah, people say, well, nothing's changed. We've still got fingernails and 5 fingers and toes and like a bum. There's all this stuff that the human body has. This is the peak of humanity. Well, no, this is a transitional period between now and what the heck we're going to evolve into. And if we want to do space flight, we've got to evolve into something that can operate in a microgravity environment. What do you think about these? Yeah, it's one of the reasons I sleep with the light on, so I don't think about these when I go to bed. Good. Wow, that was kind of a rambling, long-ass vlog about stuff. So, recap if you got to this point. Going to Sweden in a week and a bit. Videos are going to be less, because I'm just recording like a mad person behind the scenes and trying to get stuff up for when I'm away. When I am away, you won't get any social media. Sweden's got some interesting history, and humans will eventually be... I'm gonna say humans will eventually become like little lizard people, but you would have to watch Voyager for that. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna leave it here. So we started in Truro, we are now in Redruth, and I'll tell you what, if you like these videos, definitely leave a little like, leave a subscribe, and if you do subscribe, click the little bell, because that'll give you notifications when videos go live. Or don't click the bell, you're your own person, and I'll tell you what, I'll catch you next time. I always park on the roof. You never know, you never know.